In 2029, huge robots are shooting at the survivors like in a shooting gallery. Considering the number of lasers, there's a whole crowd of them running around here, and this is how the great resistance leader John Connor taught people to fight.
Taught us to fight, to smash those metal motherfuckers into junk.
It is not surprising that this mess had to be sorted out in the 84th. At the time of the garbage truck's failure, the driver lifted the manipulator up, but in general it remained at the bottom. 100% resistance to electricity made it possible for the poor guy to leave quietly, and after a few seconds the shadow of the camera gets into the frame. Kyle Reese was much less lucky. Unlike his opponent, he did not materialize calmly, but almost died if he hit his head on the asphalt. Thank you at least for the fact that the shoes were given out, otherwise I would have scratched all my legs. The Resistance sent him after the Terminator through the same portal, shortly before the destruction of the complex. Then why didn't he also appear next to the observatory? Soon he is being chased by a policeman, and judging by the dent on the car, someone is constantly jumping over it.
What day is it? The date!
12th May, Thursday.
In fact, that day was Saturday. With the pistol, Reese briefly imagined himself as a cyborg and breaks the chain with his bare hands. After that, the cops with flashlights are slowly looking for him in the store. They don't even care that the suspect can use a revolver at any moment. In reality, law enforcement officers would move very slowly, holding their weapons at the ready. And here's Sarah Connor, here to work a shift. The card says that today is May 19th. A week has passed since the arrival of the guests from the future, but the Terminator has not yet eliminated any targets.
The 45 long slide with laser sighting.
Pray tell, why would a cyborg who sees the world in red tones need a weapon with the red laser? The pointer will simply merge with the background. Besides, the Terminator already has a built-in sight.
The Uzi 9mm.
In California, there is a federal law according to which such weapons as a short-barreled automatic ultrasound are prohibited from being sold in retail stores. In addition, the cartridges will never lie on the counter in the reach of visitors.
Phased plasma rifle in the 40-watt range.
Hey, just what you see, pal.
If an advanced killer knows everything about weapons, it will not be difficult for him to correlate the years of their release with the current one. Before going to the store, he should already realize exactly what time he got there. When he gets to the phone directory, Arnie starts looking for addresses, separating the lines with his finger. This is what ordinary people do, and the Terminator just needs to look at the right page and process the information in a fraction of a second. The first victim lives in the house at number 1823, but in the end the Terminator arrives at a different address altogether. And why are his clothes hanging so loosely on him? The skinny punk was generally of a different build. Kyle came out of the store with a naked body and immediately got a t-shirt. The ignition key in the car is turned to the desired position only when it is necessary to start the engine and then released, so the wiring should not always be twisted together. Here RZA covers a post-apocalyptic flashback. The editors made a little mistake and stuck the laser above the right place. The fighters act covertly as they should, but at some point the hero jumps into a pickup truck for some reason, in fact committing suicide. Do they like it or something? And where did the rebels get gasoline from? Waking up from a nightmare, Reese reloads the shotgun, but for some reason the previous cartridge does not fly out of the weapon.
Dead girl, too.
I'm sure there's a point to all of this, Sarah Louise Connor.
And what about the seller and the stolen weapons from the store? The cops didn't establish a causal relationship between the crimes. Meanwhile, the Terminator has already come to the house of the Sarah he needs. If earlier he culturally knocked on the door and asked for the name to verify the identity of the victim, now he crumbles everyone without hesitation. If it wasn't for the answering machine, he would have considered his mission accomplished. The first thing Arnie did was why he got into hand-to-hand combat with a sleeping man. It probably seemed that he was the mother of the future savior of mankind. And how was Matt able to move him? In the third part, firefighters tried in vain to lift the heavy cyborg. And so, the main characters gathered in the club. A girl in orange is dancing next to the Terminator, and a second later she is sitting at the table. Due to the fact that the red dot on the red background is very poorly visible, Reese manages to load the shotgun on the third round and attack the opponent. Researchers have repeatedly proved that bullets fired from a shotgun do not have enough inertia to push a person away, and even more so a Terminator. After such a leaden shower, after punching a hole in the clothes, the shot ricocheted off the skin. The clothes should turn into a sieve, but they are in perfect condition. I bet that this lighting installation next to a real lantern shouldn't be here. In a matter of seconds, the action unfolds in an alley and we are once again reminded that Arnie is a Terminator. It looks cool, but unfortunately the machines don't need a graphical interface. People needed to understand the execution of commands. Computers process them in a central processor, in the form of zeros and ones. Plus, the cyborg from the future is very advanced and will not chew commands at the speed of a turtle.
Decided our fate in a microsecond.
Now Arnie has got a police car, which has neither a rear view mirror nor a partition between the seats. The number of the car is 1874. After a while, two ordinary policemen are sitting in it.
They look human. I had to wait till he moved on you before I could zero him.
And the way the Terminator pressed the guard into the floor, Reese certainly didn't notice. And in general, he could burn down a rival, having been on duty at the first two murdered women, and then call the cops. That would be a sight. As soon as the heroes go out into the street again, the shots are accelerated so that the chase seems even more dynamic. In the end, Arnie is imprinted into the wall, and the slogan on the body changes to another one. Later, the killing machine will shoot down the entire police station, and now for some reason he decided to sneak away. For him, cops with guns are like annoying mosquitoes. The Terminator could immediately finish off Sarah and complete the mission. There are two huge holes in the door, but the passengers are alive. The organic eye itself will not grow as eyebrows, it will have to be cut out. The scalpel has a blade only when a dummy head is on the screen. The real Schwarzenegger was not put at risk. At this time, Reese reveals that he is a soldier from the future. I will not go into this topic much, but I will only say that, if he is alive in his time, then John has a different father. With his appearance, Reese broke the order of things, and now he will certainly not be sent through the portal to save Sarah. In general, it's a complete paradox. After an impromptu operation, a huge hole was left, but even through the glasses you can see that not everything is fine with the eye. The headlights of the car illuminate the doomed cop, although at the same second they are turned off. Another police doc generally rejoices at the appearance of Schwarzenegger and smiles. The Terminator does not feel discomfort from bullets, but during dirty tricks with wires, his body reacts very strongly. The sound is also a problem. The shotgun shoots like a machine gun. Maybe you shouldn't have shouted like that. After all, the Terminator is walking around. After escaping, Kyle is covered by another flashback. He entered the base only after he called his name and knocked on the door in a special way. Then why did the guards manage to miss the Terminator in rags? The T-800 is always disguised as jocks. It's easy to spot them among emaciated soldiers. And why is this guy armed with an outdated rifle? It is useless in the war against machines. At the end of the episode, the actor put on some glasses, like his eyes are red. In the morning, Sarah wears yellow socks, and when she arrives at the motel, they are already white. In such an extreme situation, she could not take spare ones with her. Leaving for shopping, Reese gives Sarah the gun. According to the fighter from the future, this weapon will be able to stop the Terminator.
Be at least an hour before your mother gets here from Big Bear.
I can't sleep.
She should definitely be on her way to pick up her daughter, whereas the Terminator found her at home and imitated her voice. With that, he shot right through the door. It feels like Arnie is getting angrier by the minute, and is behaving well, not very secretively. At the end of the chase scene, the pickup truck flips over, showing us the absence of the engine and drive shaft. But the Terminator has some kind of green sock. In a stolen truck, the door handle has the usual shape, but in the general plans it is different and is located below. Just before the explosion, a mock-up truck is pulled by a wire. Now only a charred skeleton remains of the killer cyborg, although no, it is polished to a shine and works fine. In this he is helped by a man from the film crew, who presses the lever. However, the Iron Killer goes further only with the help of an escort.
Cover! So he can't track us!
Wow, this is some kind of plant of the future. There is no security, and everything works by itself. In the end, Reese felt so bad that some guy came to the rescue. It is not a pity to waste it. From the explosion of the bomb, the Terminator shattered into pieces, even the head separated from the torso, but soon it returns to its place. The hydraulic press wobbles like cardboard, but it has enough strength to crush the Terminator. In the morning, doctors arrive and load the patient feet first, which real ambulance staff would never do. Finally, we will find out where the photo came from. The dog in the scene disappears and appears, and the shadow of the car falls differently after a minute. This indicates that Sarah was at the gas station for certainly several hours.